Okay, yeah, it's the potato camera and the potato microphone, but this happens when I watch the games at my dad's house. Really, what I should do is have a separate studio that I make here, so then I can just immediately do the games and not look like a just complete dummy doing them from a dark basement with a crappy computer mic and even worse computer camera. But that's not the situation we find ourselves in. We find ourselves in this situation. And you know what? For a crappy finish, I can't think of a better way to express myself than a crappy camera angle. What's up, Falco Vaughn? Celtics lose this game. Heartbreaking loss. 107-104. Luka Doncic hits a three-pointer at the buzzer for the second year in a row to break the Celtics' hearts. But really, to me, that's not the big story. Obviously, it's a big deal that Luka hit a big three to win the game, but really, the Celtics blew this game. And coming from way down in the first half to fight all the way back to take a lead, the Celtics were in great position to win this game and should have won this game, even in Dallas. But if you weren't watching, the Celtics tried to play 2-for-1 at the end of the game, get two possessions with under a minute left. Marcus Smart took a bad shot. Didn't matter. The game was still tied. And then with about 11 seconds left, the Mavericks had 11 seconds on the game clock and about 6 or so seconds left in the shot clock. The Celtics had the opportunity to defend the Mavericks and force them into probably a tough shot and then get another possession. Okay, that's great. But here's what happened. The Celtics, for some reason, and Marcus Smart decided to foul Luka Doncic away from the basket. They did have a foul to give, but what actually mattered was when you foul, it resets the shot clock. But there was no shot clock to reset since it was only 11 seconds left of game time, and it would have reset to 14, so you can't do that. So the Mavericks then got the last possession. The Celtics, essentially, by fouling there, gave away a possession, their own possession. They just said, here, Mavs, here, Luka Doncic, take this. We don't want the last shot. You guys take it. It made no sense from a basketball perspective or from a common sense perspective because it wasn't like a foul where Marcus Smart was playing good defense and like, oh, they called him for a foul. The referee screwed up. No, Marcus Smart intentionally fouled Doncic there because they had a foul to give. For some reason, whether Coach Udoka called for that or Marcus Smart decided that was the right thing to do, you could not have had possibly a dumber play in that position. And to me, losing a game because of in the NBA, again, these guys are professionals, professional coaches, professional players. Losing a game in the NBA at the end because you make a mental mistake like that, a strategic error like that, is just completely unacceptable. There's no, this happens sometimes, bad call, because there's no bad call to be made. That's just unacceptable. That's taking a win or at least a chance to win the game and throwing it out, flushing it down the toilet, burning it, whatever analogy you want to use. That's exactly what the Celtics did. And so I really want to know if it was Coach Udoka who made the mistake and said Marcus foul here, or it was Marcus Smart who took it upon himself to make the foul there. Whoever did, it's just a colossal error of judgment and something that really needs to be completely dissected and ripped because just a horrific decision that cost the Celtics the game, in my opinion. And if I'm a player on the team and it was the coach who did that, I lose a lot of faith in the coach. And if I'm one of Marcus Smart's teammates, then I've lost a lot of faith in Marcus Smart because for somebody who thinks he's, a basketball genius, making that sort of play is about as dumb as it gets. So frustrating loss because this could have been a really nice win against a Dallas team that's playing really well and has obviously one of the best players in the league in Luka Doncic. You came back. You were playing on the road. You just had that nice win in Miami. You could have felt really, really good about yourselves instead. And you got Jason Tatum going finally tonight, no Jaylen Brown. And instead, you come up with a loss because of just an idiotic play. So I'm frustrated. Celtics fans should be frustrated. The team should be frustrated. And that this is like the 5th or 6th in 10 games game that is just, it's baffling that they shouldn't have lost and they did. So let's get into the box score. I swear to God, this team is going to kill me at some point this season just from frustration. But all right, box score it is. Again, final score, the Mavericks win 107-104, courtesy of Luka Doncic canning a three with no time left. It was a tremendous shot by Luka. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a tremendous player. He made a very difficult shot. But the Celtics should have had one more possession left, and they didn't because they're stupid. Or the coach is stupid, or Marcus Smart is stupid. That's the only explanation. Starters tonight were Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Rob Williams, Marcus Smart, and Dennis Schroeder was in there replacing the injured Jaylen Brown. Tatum, I think, had his best game of the season. I don't really know how you could argue otherwise because of efficiency. He was really efficient tonight, and tremendous game from Tatum, 38 minutes, 12 of 19 from the floor, 6 of 8 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. You'd like to see that number go up, but that seems to be what it is. 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block, and 32 points for Tatum. He played his ass off tonight. Nothing to complain about with Tatum. He should be frustrated they lost this game because he helped drag them back. Al Horford, another solid game, 26 minutes for him, 5 of 11 from the floor, 0 of 4 from 3, perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 14 points. Rob Williams, very solid tonight, 33 minutes, an incredibly efficient 7 of 8 from the floor. 2 of 5 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, is a steal, and 16 points for Rob Williams. Marcus Smart, so-so game for him. 36 minutes, 2 of 5 from the floor, which is a good number. You want him to shoot around there. I'm not saying percentage-wise, but total shots-wise, 1 of 3 from 3, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 points, and the huge mistake at the end of the game, which – again, unforgivable. And Dennis Schroeder played very well, filling in for Jaylen Brown tonight, starting 39 minutes, 9 of 22 from the floor, 1 of 6 from 3. Not great from 3, though. 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 20 points for Schroeder. You only got contributions from really one guy on the bench, Josh Richardson, who I thought was very good tonight on both ends of the floor, returning after missing one game. 31 minutes for him off the bench, 6 of 12 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 13 points, and I think some very good defense. Big block at one point in the game. Other than that, you just had 2 points out of Peyton Pritchard in 11 minutes. Aaron Nesmith played 21 minutes but didn't score, so didn't follow up his good game from the other night. And Grant Williams only plays 5 minutes and doesn't score. And on the other side, Doncic finishes with 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. So Celtics fall to 4-6. Mavericks improved to 6-3, and the Celtics are left with another frustrating loss. Not just you can't blame it all on one play. Obviously, it was a really dumb play to end the game, but the Celtics, like we saw a lot last year, dug themselves into a massive hole to start this game. They lost the first quarter 15-29. After that, they lost the second quarter 28-25. So they were in a big deficit to start the second half. And had they played better in the first half, they wouldn't have been in a situation where they even had to make a dumb mistake to lose the game. But this just isn't a very good team or a very disciplined team. And that's sort of what you end up with. So ultimately, the Celtics lose. I see everybody in the chat. Let me see if I can get to you. Greg Castillo, Leonard Kim, Falco Vaughn. Appreciate you guys watching. Let's see what you're saying. Falco, you said Smart thinks he's a better player than he really is. That does seem to be what's happening right now. I can't really disagree with that. Why was he complaining about not getting enough shots? We talked about that the other day. It's very frustrating that he's supposed to be the leader on this team and sort of airing dirty laundry out there. Leonard, you're saying typical Celtics. They hook you in, making you think they've got it together, only to end up giving you a middle finger. It's been the story of the season and past couple of seasons. Maddening, frustrating, heartbreaking. It's not a fun time to be a Celtics fan right now. Falco, you also said, do you still think Tatum and Brown can play on the same team? They're pretty much the same player. I talked about this on my other show, on the Pick and Roll NBA podcast with Jet and Sapp, and I've talked about it on this show too. I think the Celtics need to be bold and trade one of those guys because I do think it is a little redundant, and I think that the Celtics can't be in this position where they're thinking that those are the two pillars of their team that can build them into a championship contender. I think it's pretty clear now that they're never going to be that if those two are your best players. So to your point, to your question, I don't think they can play on the same team if your goal is to win a championship, unless, like Kevin Durant or LeBron comes here. And then Greg Castillo, you're saying, are injuries starting to pile up for Jaylen Brown? I was thinking about that today. That's a great point, Greg. I I'm getting a little concerned that he's getting injury prone. Last year he had the wrist, he's had a knee thing this year. Now it's a hamstring. I mean, he plays hard. He takes the basket. I love Jaylen Brown as a person. I've loved that he's improved every year. But yeah, it's a little scary to see a 25-year-old have all these maladies, because it's not the same thing over and over again. He's hurting different parts of his body. So that is a little bit concerning. I definitely think it's something to keep an eye on there, Greg. And Falco, last question, you said, how about the coaching so far? I'm going to give it 20 games to reserve judgment on Coach Udoka, but I wouldn't say impressive by any means so far this season. So I'll say I'll give him a C until otherwise. It was going to be a C no matter what. So 20 games in, come back. I'll give you my grade on what I really think about Coach Udoka. So that's going to do it. Frustrating loss. I feel like I'm saying that every game. And the Celtics, they don't really have an identity right now. And when they take a step up, they take 2 steps back, and then they kind of rope you back in with a big win. It's just, ugh. But they'll look for revenge on Wednesday. Yeah, they don't have a game until Wednesday when they take on the Raptors at home for the second time this season. The Raptors obviously blew them out in their home opener, the Celtics home opener. So hopefully the Celtics can get a little bit of revenge. Raptors definitely better than people were expecting this year, but still a team I think the Celtics should beat, especially at home. So hopefully the Celtics can get revenge. And then after that, on next Friday, they take on the defending champ Milwaukee Bucks. So not an easy stretch for the Celtics those next 2 games. I will be back on Wednesday for a recap after that one. And thanks for watching, everybody, either now or later. Appreciate y'all. See ya.